Hey guys, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at our top 10 favorite Kickstarters of 2018.
2018 has been an amazing year for Kickstarter games. I can't believe how many have come out this year. Tantrum House has reviewed a huge number of those. I don't know if you've seen Kevin and Melissa's review, but they put together their top 10 favorite Kickstarter games, and then they challenged us to do the same. So being up for the challenge, we have compiled a list of the top 10 games that we enjoyed previewing this year, and I think we're ready to begin.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number 10.
Starting off our list today is Wreck Raiders from Kids Table Board Game. This is designed by Josh Capel and Tim Brown.
We really enjoyed this game. It was something that our kids and our family enjoyed playing together. It's a set collection game that involves you exploring different parts of the sea, kicking each other out of other spots in order to take treasures, collecting them in 2 different categories, and trying to turn them in for big points at the end of the game.
I enjoyed that they incorporated the box lid with an illustration where you roll your dice into the box so they don't go crazy all over the table. And then, depending on where they land, if they're on an illustrated one of the baubles, you can collect a bonus if you choose that die during your drafting.
The Capels know how to run a good campaign. We enjoyed all the updates that we got from this one, and I'm very excited that they funded successfully and that we'll be able to find this in stores really soon.
Number 9.
Mobster Metropolis from Storm Active Productions is a really thematic game that takes up a huge portion of your table and gives you the opportunity to live out your mobster dreams. Being able to control different districts in the city, being able to program your drive-by shootings. This game kind of covers all the bases of mobster life, both the dark and scary parts and the fun and scary parts. We had a good time playing this game, and we really enjoyed just how thematic and how rich the experience was. Number 8.
Number 8 on our list is Raccoon Tycoon from Glenn Drover and Forbidden Games. In this game, you are building your railroad empire, gaining resources, and trying to build up the prices on the stock market to sell and buy at the right time. We had the opportunity to preview a few other games from Forbidden Games by Glenn Drover, Railroad Rivals, and Extraordinary Adventures Pirates.
I think Raccoon Tycoon inched those out just a little bit, primarily because the artwork for it was so gorgeous. The illustrations of those animal characters was really, really fantastic, which made the whole experience more enjoyable. And I think we really liked the weight of the game. It was very gateway, but it had a lot of fun choices to make. You're doing some bidding and the set collection, and it really just rounded out that entire experience to put that one at number 8 on our list.
Number 7.
Planetopia from Mangrove Games made the number 7 spot on our list. It's a hand management, ordering of your characters game that had some really fun artwork, really nice overall scheme, and really just an enjoyable gameplay experience.
It kind of uses that Century Spice Road mechanic to gain cards into your hand, and then you need to use those almost like it's almost a deck builder in that you're only using your hand and repeating those cards through to gain the correct aliens to your board, but you need to be careful because gravity kicks in, so everything will sink down towards the surface of the planet in what order you place them in, and you need to configure them like the goal cards, so it's got some nice puzzly aspects to them.
Yeah, the fact that it kind of incorporated very familiar mechanics from a lot of other games that we've seen, but in a fresh way and with a fun new skin, really appealed to us. We had a lot of fun playing it with friends, family, and at game nights, and it was one that we were happy to pull back out again and try over and over again. Number 6. Draconis Invasion Wrath from Keji Games is an expansion to the deck building game Draconis Invasion, and it adds a bunch of new cards to the game as well as 2 new mechanics that are pretty cool.
Yeah, so the base had the cheat sheet that had A, B, C, and D that you could use as your actions, like buying and those type of things, like a normal deck builder. This one added an E and F, so it allowed you to eliminate cards from your deck, which is a very powerful move in a deck builder, and then it allowed you to forward gold onto your next turn, which was huge. Some of the mercenaries that you hire to kill all the monsters in the game are very expensive, so allowing yourself to be able to save one of those gold for next turn really added to the enjoyability of this game.
The artwork was great. It matched the original very well. I think it's a great addition to an already solid game, and I really just like the polish that they were able to keep going with that. I hope that they come out with a new expansion with G, H, and I.
Number 5. Number 5 on our list is Jetpack Joyride from Lucky Duck Games. This is a real-time tile placement game that used to be an app, and they have turned it into a board game where you are wildly trying to configure a path for your scientists to make it through the laboratory that is going to explode.
This has got a really fun table presence. It's also got a really inviting and low threshold barrier for new players. When you pull it out of the box, everybody recognizes that Jetpack Joyride iconography and art, and so it kind of draws them in, and then you put it out on the table and you play a couple of quick rounds. It's really fun for kids to play. We've had a lot of fun with it at our game nights, and it's one that we enjoyed doing the review for and that we've really had a lot of fun with playing since then.
Yeah, and it's one that our kids pull out quite often to play.
Number 4.
Number 4 is one that probably most people watching this may not be familiar with, and it is The Primary from Mountaintop Games.
This is kind of one of those like underrated games that I don't really know how to describe it. When we played the game, it's got kind of an innocuous political theme. It's not charged in either direction, which is nice, and it's very like true to the voting process that goes on in America. We played this game the first couple times, and I think it was one of those types of things where we got done with the game, and this was one of those ones that generated, you know, the 5 minutes of after conversation that I always enjoy, where we're going, oh man, I knew that if I didn't get Iowa, that you would get Ohio, and I had to get those extra pieces, and then I won the game because I did such and such. It really gave you some really fantastic choices. That pre-planning and pre-programming that you do on your turn in this one really made it a lot of fun for us.
Yeah, so programming games and area control games, they're lower on my list of favorite mechanics. So when they put a game that used those two, which were pretty far down on my list, and threw in politics and made a game that I loved, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, this is one that we did the video for it. We put it out. They funded successfully. Congratulations. We kind of even forgot that it was one of the games we had talked about. And as we were going back through our list to discover, you know, to put them in order, we both got to that when we were like, wow, that was such a good game. We've got to pull that out again. Just really enjoyable gameplay. If you haven't heard of The Primary, go check that one out because it's definitely worth putting your eyeballs on.
Number 3.
So we're already down to the number 3 games in our list. If you hang around to the end, we're going to give a couple of honorable mentions. But these next couple were really enjoyable games, really fun campaigns, and we are excited to give the number 3 spot to Welcome to Dinoworld.
2018 showed us a lot of roll and writes this year, and this one was one of my favorites.
Yeah, we had a great time playing this one. It follows the same rules as all the other games. You roll the dice, you draw onto your board what you want to do, but this one was a fun theme with the whole basically Jurassic Park ripoff, and then building the perfect little park and having to get all your fences right and your power generators and drawing your dinosaurs in your spare time.
Yeah, during your downtime, we thoroughly enjoyed drawing dinosaurs all over our park map. I also enjoyed they did something a little different with the goals. You can gain extra victory points by completing some objectives, but they had it where you shared objectives with this person and the next 2 people shared objectives, kind of like between 2 cities, but then whoever got it done first was the only one who gained the points. So I enjoyed that nuance of a different way to gain points in the game.
Number 2.
The number 2 game from 2018 at Studio 3 is Space Explorers from 25th Century Games.
This game kind of builds off of that Splendor mechanic that we've seen in other games where you kind of start off small, collecting just a couple of icons at a time, and then you engine build your way up to larger sets of cards where ultimately you're trying to get some very specific satellites that you will win the game with the victory points that you get from that part.
Yeah, it comes with there's a lot of iconography on the cards, but it has a very handy cheat sheet, so that you really have very few questions during the game.
Yeah, that was one of the things I enjoyed about the game overall, was just the level of polish that it had. Every time you got to a point where you're like, oh, I wonder what I do here. Oh no, this makes sense. As soon as I see it, I understand the way your cards lay out, the iconography, the illustrations. I believe everything in the game is like historically accurate as well, which is pretty cool. And just the art style is very, very nice, and was really an enjoyable experience for us to play together and with our kids and at game night, and everybody that we played it with really enjoyed the experience. Number one. The number one spot on our list for this year goes to Sweet Mess from Big Kids Games.
Yeah, this is one that we were very excited to receive in the mail, and we opened it up and it had absolutely fantastic components for being a prototype. It had a player mat so that when you are picking up ingredients, it had everything all organized. It had game trays with it so that when you make your selections and you lay out all your ingredients to start baking things, everything is organized. And then we realized the gameplay is way more thinky and difficult than we realized. We thought this was going to be a very lightweight gateway game, and it has a lot of meat to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you pull out and it's just kind of delightful on the table. It is easy to underestimate. I think a lot of people looked at this and thought, oh, family fun cooking game. It is that, but so much more. You really, every single part of your tray, the ways that you move it, the way that you stack things, the order that you put things on, it impact your strategy in the game. There's a lot of nice elements where you have to like put something in and have it be timed. There's a lot of places where you can, you're making a mess. That's the goal of the game. And you're spilling ingredients into other bowls, and you're trying not to stack other people so that they get the ingredients they want, but you need to get the ones that you want. There's really just 100,000 things to think about each turn. And I don't know really how this works, but when we play it, I don't feel like people usually suffer too much AP in this one. Mm-mm. It seems like the type of thing where you've kind of always got something going on. You're always planning your next turn. Really, really good pace. Really, really fun, tactile experience. Really solid game overall.
When we were compiling our list, there were a few games where we were like, no, this should be number 4, this should be number 6. And when we got up to the last few, we were like, Sweet Mess is definitely number 1.
Yeah, it really was. It was an easy choice. It was a very delightful game. Congratulations to Jason and everybody at Big Kids Games, all the designers and illustrators behind that game. Really, really excellent put together. We enjoyed all the games that were on this list, and we'd love for your comments as well. If there were things that we left out or games that you thought should have been in different orders, let us know, because we're curious and we'd love to know. We also had the opportunity in 2018 to review some games that were on Kickstarter early in the year. We didn't get them as Kickstarter games, we got them as published games, and 2 of those that we especially enjoyed were Everdell, really beautiful game, really nice components, really have enjoyed playing that one. There's a review video on our channel of that one.
Yeah, Starling Games did an excellent job of coming up with some fantastic components for that one, and the gameplay is great. The other one that we enjoyed is Architects of the West Kingdom, and that one's from Capel, and we received a copy from Renegade Game Studios. Just thoroughly enjoy the world that Capel and with Shem and the Miko have put together with the artwork. It really is an enjoyable experience.
Thank you guys so much for watching through this video. We wanted to tell you about 2 other things that are coming up that you should be aware of. One of them is we're doing a premiere video, and we've put together a show for the best games of the year, the Tantrum House Awards. We're going to be premiering that on January 5th, so be sure to tune in for that one. We've got guest hosts and guest award winners, and it's going to be a really fun video, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and be sure not to miss Tantrum Con coming February 15th, 16th, and 17th. We have tons of events put together with some VIPs that will be joining us, and so you don't want to miss all the gaming that will happen at that con.
Yeah, learn more and get your tickets at tantrumcon.com. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and for following along. We'll have more videos coming soon. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. One more time. Glenn Drover, Forbidden Games. Gosh, how are you supposed to say that? The artwork for the game was really amazing. The illustrated animals